So my husband and I don't have sexual intercourse every single time. We sexually pleasure each other and serve each other in different ways, but we don't have intercourse every single time. Hi, I'm Demi Dixon, and welcome to all of you watching me on YouTube and Rumble. So today I'm going to be talking about three things that I have learned over the first couple of months of marriage. I'm not giving advice, I'm just talking about what I've learned, and maybe it will resonate with some of you. The first thing that I've learned over the first couple of months of marriage is that being a traditional wife will look different in every relationship. So for some women, being that traditional wife means that she does all the cooking, all the cleaning, the laundry, everything considered domestic, and the husband comes home and he doesn't do those things. He helps out maybe in other ways, but he doesn't really do a lot of the domestic things. And that may work for a lot of couples. And I went into this marriage thinking that, hey, I'm gonna be doing a lot of the domestic things because my husband, he works the graveyard shift. So he works from 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. and then he comes home, he sleeps most of the morning, a little bit into the afternoon. He gets up, he does things outside of the house, runs errands, and then he comes home and gets ready to go to work at night. And I knew this getting into the marriage that this is gonna be how it is. At least during this season, and so I really wanted to sort of serve him in this way. But he's extremely self-sufficient, and I don't say that as a bad thing at all. He's just used to doing everything himself. He is the same in our marriage, you know? So I don't do his laundry. He does his own laundry. I still do most of the cleaning, even though in the kitchen, that's probably where we're most 50-50 with the dishes, but for the most part, I do most of the cleaning, like 90% of the cleaning. I still do 95% of the cooking, even though he is the cook and baker of the both of us. He went to school for it, so he's a lot better at it than me, but I still do 95% of it. And yeah, so for me, being traditional will look different. For other women, it may look completely different than what I have. And so that's one thing I learned, is that being a traditional wife, it's going to shift and change, you know, through different seasons. Even though it's only been a couple of months, I foresee my role as a traditional wife still morphing and evolving and changing. And so that's something I've learned. The second thing that I learned in these first few months of marriage is that sex and sexual intercourse are two completely different things. And I feel like this is something that isn't really discussed. Now, this is something that I actually learned about before I got married from different podcasts that I listened to. But it isn't until you're actually married that you really get to learn in real time what that means. So my husband and I don't have sexual intercourse every single time. We sexually pleasure each other and serve each other in different ways, but we don't have intercourse every single time. And it's fine, like we both are really enjoying ourselves and each other, and we don't have to have penetrative sex every single time. And I think that's something that a lot of, you know, people need to understand, especially virgins that are going into marriage thinking, okay, we're gonna have sex, we're gonna do this and that. It's like, well, what does that really mean though? What does that mean? And I think that's even an implication about what it means to abstain from sex before marriage, because there are a lot of us that perhaps were doing all kinds of things before we got married, we just didn't have sexual intercourse. And so that's a whole other conversation that I think I'll have in another video. Sex and sexual intercourse are two completely different things, and they both contribute to sexual intimacy in their own way. They're both amazing, but they're different. The third thing that I've learned in marriage so far is that there is more than one way to get things done. And so that's something that I think a lot of us kind of grow to understand as adults. But In marriage, there's two different people coming together as one. Thankfully, my husband and I are not completely different in how we do things, that the adjustment has been relatively smooth. But there are some aspects of what I do where he's like, why do you do things like this? Why do you fold things like this? Why do you make things like this? I don't do it like this. This is kind of weird or different. And I do the same thing with him. And so that's just something that both of us have had to learn. And that's something that I've had to learn. For example, with grocery bags. I see grocery bags as having multiple purposes, not just with groceries, but also they can be trash bags. They can be, trash bags like a bathroom. They can be used to sort things that you want to throw out when you're decluttering. Put them in the bag, throw it out. My husband, he uses them for groceries. And so I just kind of keep grocery bags just kind of like stuffed in a cupboard. And he's like, wait, why do you have them there? You should have them in your car, so when you go grocery shopping, they're right there. And I was like, well, I use them for grocery shopping. I'll take them, bring them with me, and then when I'm done, I put them back in the cupboard after shopping. But then I use them for other things. And so he saw that I was, using them for, a trash can, the bathroom trash cans. And he was like, oh, I guess that could be kind of handy. And so that's just something that we realized, that we both do things differently, and that's okay. All right, well, I would love to hear from all of you. What do you guys think about marriage? Like, any of you that newly married, what have you learned? Any of you that have been married for decades, what do you feel you're still learning about your spouse? I would love to hear your thoughts. And also, you can follow me on Instagram at DemiDixon34, and shoot me a DM in case you want to have a conversation there. Okay, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.